Is the editor's Memo. My name is Miriam Ogutu, and on the show this afternoon, it's 5 minutes past noon here in Nairobi. The topic of the day is who is killing ICC witness. And before we go further, let me just read us a story that was featured yesterday on the Daily Nation on page 8. The death of a potential International Criminal Court ICC witness who was a teacher at a school in Kakamega is shrouded in mystery, with human rights activists piling pressure on authorities to unveil it. Christopher Koech, who taught at Kaunga Primary School in Mumias, died under unclear circumstances on Sunday after he was admitted to Kakamega County Referral Hospital when he became suddenly ill. He was reported to have gone to school on his motorbike on Saturday and spent about an hour there before he left hurriedly for an undisclosed destination. He was later found lying on the side of a road next to his motorbike near Shimbuli Market. He had foam on his mouth and was sweating profusely, raising suspicions of poisoning. Shibuli lies on the Mumias-Kakamega Road, some 21 kilometers from the primary school. The teacher was said to have been agitated and engaged in brief struggle with traffic police officers who blocked him from riding the motorbike as his condition looked serious. His death has left his colleagues in shock and disbelief. Human rights activists told the nation yesterday, that is on Monday, that the late teacher was among ICC witnesses who were to testify at the Hague-based court in relation to the 2007-2008 post-election violence that hit Kenya after disputed presidential election results, but he later recanted his statement. So that is the basis of our conversation this morning. I'll take us to Dr. David Matanga. Not morning, but afternoon. Doc, good afternoon, and take it from here.
Thank you very much, Miriam. This is a sad story, a story again of another life lost, another person gone. And Kenya seems to be a ground where witnesses are being killed, where protection units should protect the witnesses. Why was this man riding a bike to where he must be in a protected custody? He's a witness for the ICC. Who is killing these witnesses? We all know the story of those who kill witnesses. There are many. One of them is Gicheru now, who is in court. Another one is Ruto's people. They do kill, they trace you, they kill you. This man was at a very terrible, point. He could be killed anytime because he had the evidence that once the case starts or once the case of Gicheru goes ahead to appeal or whatever, he was going to be useful to the defense, to the prosecution. So the matter must be brought to a whistleblower, and somebody must whistleblow this, and we put it on record that there is nobody else who is against witnesses in Kenya except one person. And that one person is well known, who is even wanting to remove presidential immunity. He is angry, he is very annoyed with everything, with life. He will change this country into a draconian state, the only state left on African continent with privileges. Ruto wants to change. You hear Ruto wants to remove his presidential immunity. You hear Ruto wants to bring presidents to court. You hear Ruto wants to... He kills witnesses also. So let's be very blunt and tell the truth to the world. Ambassadors who are hearing this clip, especially European Union ambassadors, hear me. We are here to protect the people. If you don't stand up to protect the people, we are dying. There's a man here killing witnesses. And he's well known. He has a network of killers. You have left him to be, you even go and visit him at his home. Let's not beat about the bush. Please. British, American, European ambassadors, check this guy. Witnesses, recently, this guy was one of them. And the reports that is coming from there is that he was found with something in the mouth which is white. That means it was poison. The man has threatened everybody. He threatens all of us. Matanga here who speaks, I think for me he can cut me with a shredder. You know, that one that cuts meat. You know, he's threatening people. You talk about Ruto, he threatens, he sends people messages. He has a killing machine that kills people. So we have to speak out. Call out. We have called out. And now this time is a campaigning time. We have to call out and say, if he says he's not the killer, let him file cases against us. Then we can prove how many people have disappeared here. Yes. Yes. He can be the president of Kenya tomorrow if he wants, if he wins. But he's not going to be the president of the entire universe. He also needs to visit some places where people can also stop him from visiting. Time has come to tell the truth. And for me, I think my colleagues, there is something fishy here. So to beating about the bush, hapana mzuri. Those who have even heard this topic, sorry about it. I can see some people have heard and have gone away. Because they don't want to talk about this. And these are hypocrites whom I don't like to hear. This is a serious story, Miriam. Imagine it is your brother being killed because he was only giving information. It's very sad. Thank you.
All right. So just to add on that, apparently Mr. Koech was to travel to The Hague to testify in lawyer Paul Gisheru's ICC case, and of course his family members have said they were unaware that he was an ICC witness, noting that he had not discussed the matter with them, and so they're saying they'll be waiting for the post-mortem. Perhaps we hear the thoughts of the rest of the panelists before, Doc, you come back and wrap tie it down for us. Gladwell Kiragu.
They have disappeared.
All right, Kiptanui is there. Kiptanui, go ahead.
Yes, Miriam. I am here and I don't fear. I have one life. I know one time in this life I will not also be around. Jesus Christ, who was the Son of Man, the Son of God, he went to heaven. He didn't even stay here for millennium. So let us not fear to speak out of this thing. I know my brothers and sisters might have a lot of fear because it might be targeted, it might go, but there is nothing. Revelation 20 verse 12 is assuring us of the second resurrection. Why do you fear? Miriam, let me say this with a lot of sadness. But Miriam, yesterday, as I have said earlier,
We apologize for that. There seems to be a bit of a connection problem with Kiptanui. Kiptanui, we are losing you.
Being uprooted from their houses. From 1987 clashes to 1992 clashes, 2007 to 8 clashes. People are not living in their homes. Let us be sincere for one. There is an IDP, the government of Kenya bought lands to resettle these IDPs. They still, they're in those camps over there. They don't fear, they fear to go back to their land. Miriam, I said when we started this day, that Miriam, I was interviewing many people over there. They live in town. They don't go, they just go to their farm to only kulima tu peke yake. Their houses were torched down. Miriam, I give you a classical example of the man I met there and he cried actually. So Miriam, when are these people going to get justice? Miriam, we might do resettlement of this because we still have people who are not being resettled. We still have people who they fear to go home. We still have people, Miriam, they lost everything. And recently I brought to you a clip through Daktari that people demonstrated in this town in Nakuru We are not going to vote if we are not going to be compensated like others. So this process of compensation, this process of resettlement, Miriam, has been marked by a lot of corruption. So when are these people going to get justice? If the only avenue that they are going to get justice to kill their witnesses who are supposed actually to testify and to say what happened on that, what happened during those times. Miriam, we are not visitors in this country. We know what has happened. We want to condemn that process of what is going on with this killing of these ICC witnesses. Miriam, these people are known. The ICC knows them. Why is it that these people are still around going on with their activity? Why don't we have the National Witness Protection Act? Why don't we follow a simple procedure? Why don't we fly these people? Miriam, let me tell you this. The community knows these people and they are integrating with the community. Tell me, why was this gentleman not being killed in 20 after these cases were postponed or after collapse of these cases? This guy has been killed right now because there is an active case in ICC. And William, we also might be killed one of the 5 days. But let us be killed when we say the truth. Let us have witness protection. Let us condemn this. And Miriam, I come also from Kalenjin community. And Miriam, when you see in social media, there are a lot of things which are happening. We've been insulted, we've been threatened. Daktari is the witness. You go to his wall, you see what people are saying. You take over power, where we'll report you, will make sure but I have been encouraging him. You have God who is in heaven. Even if they kill you, you will also be remembered by other generations. Let us not fear, let us speak it. Mm-hmm. The country is polarized. Let us sort out this mess. Let us sort out this issue. And let us not hold these witnesses around here. Let us fly them. Let them go and be given asylum in other countries. Let us protect them. But at the end of the day, before Jesus comes to this world, Miriam, when we will not be around, these people will get the justice at the end of the day. Those people who are found in Kiamba, those people who have not gone to their farms up to date, those who are still in pipeline here in Nakuru, they have not been compensated. They will get justice before the end of this world. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you so much. And Samuel, I wish even as you come in and give your thoughts on this development, I think this puts a spotlight on our witness protection, rather ICC's witness protection mechanism.
Yes, indeed, Miriam, you are right that this quite puts into question the ICC protection unit on the witnesses, because again, it is actually foolhardy to say that our witnesses or the witnesses that were supposed to appear for certain cases at the ICC are just disappearing. Some of them have been painfully murdered. And Miriam, it is only God who has really the power to take away life. It's very, very painful, and I can assure you, Miriam, that the tears, the pain, and the wailing of the kings of the people who have disappeared or otherwise murdered because of this situation are not going to go down in vain. The people behind this orchestration are going to pay it and pay it dearly. Because again, Miriam, there's not so much crime that these individuals have committed in just going to, or the intention they had to go and testify for certain individuals or against them at the ICC. And Miriam, I think even for the investigative apparatus in the country, really, they should also be put into question, because how come that we are having these individuals just disappear? It cannot just be a coincidence that these witnesses are disappearing or are being murdered. People who have interest in these cases, or people who have cases at the ICC, must be the first culprits or suspects rather, to be apprehended and taken into questioning for them to shed more light as to why exactly these witnesses are disappearing, because that is the first point of call. Otherwise, how will Kenyans be able to tell that the investigative apparatus or agencies in the country are working around the clock to ensure that the people behind these heinous acts are brought to book, Miriam? It's very, very unfortunate, and it's painful, especially at a time even when we are heading into yet another election, because the reason why we went into ICC in the first place was because of the post-poll skirmishes that this country went through in 2007, 2008. And when we are preparing to go to yet another election, And we have those cases at the ICC. We have witnesses disappearing, and some of them just being murdered in such very ugly way, Miriam. We should be reminded, Miriam, that indeed there are people who lost their properties. There are people who lost their lives. There are people who fled from what they otherwise used to call home because of the post-poll skirmishes that happened in 2007, 2008 in this country. And therefore, when we have such kind of incidents taking place, it reminds us of the painful memories that people, some of our people in this country really went through. There are people who have never gone back to their land. There are people who fled this country and went to the neighboring countries, for instance, in Uganda, and they have never thought of even coming back. And when they are reminded of such kind of incidences through the disappearance of the witnesses who are otherwise supposed to shed more light about what exactly happened and maybe help in the chain of bringing justice to the victims of the post-poll skirmishes, then it's something that is so disappointing. It's something that is not inspiring. So we want to see the investigative agencies come and take action, and more so a petition to ICC that they should do something because they have the budget. I mean, the nations that form the Rome Statute or that have formed the ICC have given a lot of funding to ICC, and therefore they have no excuse as to why they cannot be able to fund and ensure that all the witnesses in these particular cases or even other cases really are given enough protection, including even their close family members, Miriam. So it's very, very unfortunate, and it's making us really develop what I'll call goosebumps when you hear that witnesses continue to disappear and nobody is brought to book, nobody is arrested. You remember the case of Yebe a few years back. He just disappeared that way, and nobody has been apprehended. And there are so many cases of a similar nature, Miriam, and the latest one that you have referred to in the newspapers, that of Kuwait. So we do not want to see a continuation of this. There are young children who have been left orphans. There are women who have been left widows. There are people who have been left, or mothers and fathers who have been left without their children because of these heinous acts, Miriam. And therefore, it is my appeal that the investigative agencies, the security in the country, and as well as the ICC must move with speed to ensure that the culprits and suspects are arrested and brought to book. I submit.
Okay, thank you so much. Jevan Karanja, I see you've joined us. Good afternoon, if you can hear me.
Jevan Karanja?
Seem to be having a bit of a connection issue there. I don't know, Jevan, can you hear us? Good afternoon. Okay, Doc.
Thank you very much, Miriam. Before I make my take, before I give my take, there are a few things that I want to highlight. When Emperor Julius Caesar died, and before he died, he kept on warning people and telling the 40 senators headed by Brutus and Cassius that it is not his death that they should mourn, but it is the death of the Roman Empire that we should be more concerned about. The disintegration of the Roman Empire was worse than the death of a single person called Julius Caesar. Are we in the same situation today? Do we see a disintegration of our society, especially our nations, and especially Kenya, where we are? Are we able to stand and say the disintegration should not come, and one person cannot hold us on ransom? One person is under with activities of military operations. The same person is doing clandestine operation with a neighboring country, going to bring insecurity in this country. The same person is finishing witnesses. The same person is telling people that he wants presidential immunity removed in order to go and arrest Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta after he takes power. The same person is telling us that we should bring those who have captured the state, remove every form of dignity. I predict this would be Kiruba versus Kaunda. If Ruto is allowed to win elections, he will definitely go for, remember that election? Do you remember, you people? It was YK92. And they were the boys of the town who could beat you anywhere. That's why the people like Wajikoyans are not being put on the same footing to have an interview with William, because Wajikoya will ask William, where were you in 1992? And the people who are framing this stupid interview called a very stupid interview. If I were Raila Odinga, I would not attend. Because it's stupid if you have segmented it into two parts. When people are actually talking the same thing. Presidential candidate is a presidential candidate. You can't segment a presidential candidate into two segments. Put all of them together. Let's get the truth out of them. Thank you. Let me now do my takeaway. The Roma Statute was put in place to protect the integrity of international justice. The Roma Statute was therefore put to give the people of the world the peace. Anybody who commits a crime against humanity stands trial. But the Roma Statute seemed to be a breeding ground for more deaths than more solutions. For a witness to be known that he lives in a place and he's a witness, there must be a conduit from the court. There must be a conduit from the ICC who has told the people where so and so is a witness. So my question here today, the death of witnesses, ICC witnesses who are involved in the Gicheru case, who is this conduit in the ICC? Who is telling the people where the witnesses are, and the witnesses are dying mysteriously? Should we now not focus, as Julius Caesar said, focus not on my death, focus not on my betrayal, focus not on me leading Rome, but focus about the state of Kenya. Julius Caesar warned the people before his death that it is not him who will suffer. You should not mourn his death because he saw plotters coming. The plotters are plotting against President Uhuru Kenyatta. We see them. They have told us, one of them on Tuesday told us that he talked about Uhuru Kenyatta 1,629 times. About the first family. And we have watched these events going on. And Kenya is a democracy, a standing democracy, a point country for Africa. Are we perishing? Should we stand and watch one man because he wants power, and one man because he has stolen money, and come to harass people, and even mock those he has stolen from, to continue doing so without any reprimand? The witnesses are going down. The people are perishing. Threats are being put on all of us, even newspaper people, journalists, everybody who talks against Ruto is on the line of death. So should we be operating a Russian type of style here, where mafia people or Italian style, where mafia come to kill you because of the views of expression, because you are a witness, because you are going to give evidence, because we want to kill the case in order to become the president of the Republic of Kenya. Is this what the Kenyans want? If this is what the Kenyans want, then we have a wrong direction that we are going. And therefore, we should look at all possibilities of safeguarding the witnesses and protecting the innocent who are falling victims of one man. One man who is not only threatening us with the lower cadres, but threatening his boss, the president of Republic of Kenya, who's still in power, is doing all the things to remove even immunity from this president in order to have a go at him. Is this the guy you want to elect? I believe there's a conduit between ICC and this man. I believe there is somebody in the ICC who is telling Ruto and the Ruto side that they are witnesses. A is very important, kill him. Therefore, I want to escalate this matter beyond next, after the elections, to find out, to file an application as to why witnesses, who tells out the names of witnesses in the ICC that they are being eliminated. This is something that is worrying us. That is something that the international community, the British government, the European Union, and all peace-loving justice people who love justice, who want to see justice done, should come in and help and find out why witnesses, mainly on one case of William Samoei Ruto and Arap Sang, are being killed or found mysteriously killed. If that is not investigated, then the ICC, the same governments in Europe, should point a finger at the ICC. There is somebody in the ICC who knows these witnesses, who has these documents, and is pointing a finger at them, and they are being eliminated. And very soon, that person will be found out. We need to be vigilant, and it is going to be very, very, very messy at the end of the day. Thank you.
Very well, thank you so much. And that is where we end the show, unless there's anything else. But that is where we end the show with that a takeaway. Good questions there, Doc, you've raised, and hopefully ICC can be able to, because it's the only body that is supposed to be protecting these witnesses, and if it cannot assure of that, then what are we doing? Thank you so much for that. And for the panelists, I'll see you later with more news from the continent. My name is Miriam Ogutu. Bye-bye.